Hey everybody, what is going on? It's your boy Izzo33, welcoming you back to Anarchy Analysis. Today, we're going to be breaking down a phenomenal game between Dignitas and Team Liquid, which could have gone either way, which Dignitas started off leading, then Team Liquid took over the game, and then Dignitas finally closed out a game after a phenomenal team fight that we're going to be breaking down for you guys, and obviously showing you how this led to Dignitas winning. But enough of me babbling on about this randomness. Let's jump straight into Champion Select, where this gets really, really juicy. Right, so let's jump straight into the picks and bans. Some of the first three bans for Dignitas and Team Liquid. Firstly, Dignitas ban out the Ornn, which is a very tanky playmaking champion. Ideal for Impact sort of playstyle, he does like them tanks. Similarly to Dignitas' last ban in the set, which is a very high outplay champion that obviously is very bulky and can just outlive a lot of fights, and in the right hands can be a menace in fights and just disrupt everything. And their other ban for Team Dignitas was the Tahm Kench. It's a very good choice to ban out the Tahm Kench because it kind of hints to you that Dignitas want Team Liquid to say, hey, pick up the Senna here, or we're just going to take it for free because we're going to choose something as a first pick that will work well with her and force you into it. It's a very nice pickup and very, very good. Anyway, Team Liquid's bans as follows. It goes Akali, who's clearly the most OP champion in League of Legends at the moment. She's I think got 100% ban rate currently in the entire LEC and LCS, and she's just devastating to play against. Obviously, that flex pick into the top or mid lane. Now, their second ban is the Rumble, which is a very, very big pickup for Team Dignitas, as that's one of Hooney's triple on taunt picks. He has 3 picks that are kind of what he's known for and was dominant on last season. And so removing that high dot damage champion is good for Team Liquid. Now, their last ban is obviously Lucian, who's actually been seeing bits of play here in the LCS and LEC recently, and it's been showing its worth in them games. No surprises it's getting banned here, as the high damage flexible ADC is taken off the board. Now, moving on to our first 3 picks for each team. Almost immediately, Dignitas lock in the Thresh, which is hinting back to them banning out the Tahm Kench, as it sort of forces Team Liquid's hand to either pick up the center or forfeit it over to Dignitas here, and Team Liquid have to respect the playmaking support that Thresh is, with that lantern maneuverability and escape tool for the entire Dignitas team. They have to go with something in response, so they pick up a Nautilus. Now, Nautilus is very similar to Thresh, except it has probably a bit more tank stats, more CC, and overall is slightly better than Thresh. However, it doesn't provide that movability that Senna would need. That being said, Team Liquid kind of have to pick up the Senna here so that it doesn't fall over into Dignitas' hands. Senna obviously is probably the most picked champion in the LEC and LCS this year, and it's kind of understandable. Now, for Dignitas' last 2 picks, they go for the Aphelios and the GP. Aphelios is obviously one of the only champions that can hang with Senna right now with reasonable effectiveness. Obviously has a high amount of burst damage in it own kit, and is kind of bits more situational than Senna, having to deal with the weapons that he's using at a certain time. And GP is also the last pickup in this first phase for Dignitas as one of Hooney's core 3 champions. Obviously, the original one in the Rumble was banned away, Lucian was also banned, another pick that Huni can rock with. But GP is a high burst damage top laner who's really unfair if you think about it. He has a cleanse tool, he has a global, and a high amount of burst. Now, if you're Team Liquid, what do you take into a GP? You take a very high burst damage champion who has good survivability, high amount of sustain in an Aatrox, very good pickup. You can just press the gangplank quite easily, your Q proc onto him, hitting them sweet spots onto him, stopping the gangplank from essentially escaping with that cleanse. You hit one Q, you chain it with the second, he's not going to escape essentially. Now, with both Dignitas and Team Liquid realizing they have completed a mirror matchup in their picks, they realize they need to limit the jungler pool as well as the mid laner pool. Now, Dignitas have to follow Team Liquid's ban, and Team Liquid immediately ban out the two renowned AP junglers that are in the current meta. They ban out the Elise, who's a strong early game jungler who can just level 2 gank you and be a very, very potent threat, as well as the Gragas, which just can disengage with ease, separate a fight, make it super duper easy to pick off members as well. Whereas Dignitas, they realize, hey, let's make the mid lane matchup a bit more fun. Let's remove out the LeBlanc as well as the Syndra. Two very strong picks in this current patch. Syndra has probably picked up more bans here because it was disabled in the last week. And yeah, this Syndra pickup ban here is actually huge. It removes so much damage from the board. Same with how LeBlanc was. But yeah, they're the bans. Very, very productive bans here. Obviously, they counter each other with their bans here, and it's very, very methodical, this banning phase. As we get into the last 4 picks of the game, we're going to start with Team Liquid's first pick. In the Lee Sin, this is a very, very strong roaming engaged champion that allows plays to be set up with ease, just kicking them in after landing a Sonic Wave and kicking them straight into the rest of the team. Very good against the Aphelios and the Gangplank, allowing them just to be put into the death pit of the Aatrox and the Nautilus, and is overall very, very strong. However, if we look at Team Liquid's team here, they have very, very slow objective taking, so Barons and Dragons are going to be quite hard for them to take quick enough before Dignitas react, and they would literally need a machine in that mid lane to counter-react it. Now, Dignitas do the smart thing here and lock in the other prevalent AD jungler in Jarvan in this current patch. Very good at roaming as well, very bulky and is very good at locking up the Senna, the Nautilus, as well as the Aatrox and Lee Sin if they've not got their dashes away, and it's a very, very good pickup. And Dignitas' last pick is another control mage, also with very good lockup with the Shockwave, and it's going to be Orianna. Very, very good laner, obviously can control waves with her ball and command dissonance, allowing her some very easy laning and obviously CSing. And Team Liquid have to kind of respect this and go with someone who can also CS very well. And they decide to go for the Rise. Very, very good champion. High amount of burst, and is that literal machine that Team Liquid needed in order to be able to take Barons and Dragons with a bit more ease. Is you just land QE, 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 maybe occasional W, and that is how you win the game. But anyway, that is the team on your screen right now for everyone and their position and role. Let's jump straight into the play that we're going to be analysing. This fight was do or die for Dignitas. With both Uber buffs off the field and Infernal Soul in their back pockets, Dignitas pulled the trigger on their last inhibitor defense. The play is kicked off by Thresh hooking the Nautilus, signaling the fight. with the Rise being out of position slightly off to one side, Jarvan pulls the trigger, diving straight onto the Rise, as it doesn't give him much time to react, and lands a 3-man Cataclysm, essentially allowing a pretty easy Affiliate Assault to land and absolutely demolish the Team Liquid members, leading to 3 easy kills. Because of this, the last 2 members, the Senna and the Aatrox for Team Liquid, decide to flee and run away. However, they decide to turn and fight, with most of the Dignitas members being on low health. Aatrox turns around with his ultimate on, hits 2 nice sweet point spot Qs, and essentially pays for it with his life, failing to kill any of the Dignitas members. And because of this, the chase down onto the Senna doesn't really work, as the Senna is able to escape, get it up back to base, and try and defend the base take from Dignitas. So, what in the end cost Team Liquid in the final parts of this game, where they're on the brink of winning on the last inhibitor before crushing the nexus of Team Dignitas? Well, there's one big major misplay here. They got way too greedy. They misused Jensen's Realm Warp, using it to transport themselves up to the top lane turret and inhib, instead of using it as an escape tool. And that kind of said to Dignitas, hey, they've got no way of getting out of this. Let's go push with our Infernal Soul, which will do a lot of explosive damage in AoE, and punish them for essentially grouping up to TP away and killing themselves in the process, because they went into a place Dignitas had vision, and as such kind of cost them too much for them to recover from, as Dignitas were just able to use the 3 members that were killed, and then the 4th, and then just push into the base. Senna isn't going to do much against a 5-man unit. And yeah, the Dignitas members were slow to roam up to the Team Liquid base, and the Team Liquid members were respawning, but all Dignitas had to do was ignore the Senna, who doesn't have that much attack speed, and just burst down the 2 Nexus turrets that were there, and Nexus, and it would give them the win. And that's essentially what they did, and you can't fault that play, considering Dignitas had a lead early in the game and did just lose it to Team Liquid, who managed to play the map a little bit better in the mid to late game. However, Dignitas just managed to turn it around in a very, very explosive last team fight. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode of Anarchy Analysis. Next time we'll be breaking down some more games from the LEC and the LCS Week 3. If you enjoyed this one, leave a like down below, subscribe if you're new around here or if you want to, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.